Long, long, long ago, the people had no fire. They had to eat their food raw. They had no fire for warmth or for light. Life was not very comfortable. Nobody seemed to want to do anything about it, though. And now, in that long ago time, a woman gave birth to twin boys. Oh, they were lively, curious boys. They could sing, they could dance, they could play their drums as if they had magic in their hands. Well, one day after the boys had spent the morning playing their drums, their mother served them a meal of cold, sweet potatoes. They said to their mother, Iyare, ¿por qué siempre tenemos que comer la comida sin cocinar? Mom, why do we always have to eat our food without being cooked? And their mother explained to them, No hay candela con que cocinarla. There is no fire to cook it with. Those boys said to their mother, En el mundo no hay candela. There's no fire in the world. And their mother told them that there was fire. It belonged to an old sorceress who sat in a place where four roads met. She would not share her fire with anyone. And if anybody tried to take some of her fire, she would turn them into stone. Those two boys jumped up and said, We'll go get some of her fire. And even though their mother begged them not to do it, they picked up their drums and they set out. They traveled for a long time. Finally, they saw an old woman hunched over a fire in the middle of a crossroads. She was so old and thin that the skin of her arms and shoulders looked like it was painted on top of her bony skeleton. Her head was almost bald above her withered old face. One of the boys stayed in the bushes, and the other one walked up to the old woman, playing a soft rhythm on his drum. He said to her, Abuelita, dame un poco de candela. Give me a little bit of your fire, Grandma. The old woman's withered eyes opened a bit wider, and she turned to look at him. Her clouded gaze looked him up and down for a long time. Finally, she said, ¿Y qué me vas a dar a cambio de mi candela? What will you give me in exchange for my fire? And the boy told her, Le doy la música. I'll give you some music. I can play my drum and sing for you. That old sorceress loved music. She said, Play your drum. Sing for me. If you can sing and make me dance until I can't dance anymore, you may have some fire. But if you grow tired first and you stop your song, I will turn you into stone. The boy said, That's a good arrangement. He started playing his drum a little bit louder, and he started singing, Piti, 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 baila, nana, baila, piti, 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 baila, nana, baila. The old woman leapt to her feet and she started dancing. She shook her shoulders and her hips. She jumped over the fire. She slapped the soles of her feet with her hands. For a whole hour she kept dancing without slowing down. But the boy's voice was beginning to grow hoarse. The old lady said, "Sing louder, I can hardly hear you." The boy said, "Abuelita, let me drink some water so I can sing better." She said, "Hurry, hurry, I like this music." So the boy ran to the bushes, and his twin brother was waiting there. It was the twin who went back and played his drum and sang, "Piti, piti, piti, baila, nana, baila, piti, 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 baila, nana, baila." The old woman said, "Ooh, that's good. You sound even better than before." And then after another hour, that boy's voice was getting hoarse. He said, "Abuelita, let me drink some water." She told him, "Corre, corre, hurry, I like this music." He ran to the bushes, and of course it was his twin brother who returned and sang the song, "Piti, piti, piti, baila, nana, baila, piti, 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 baila, nana, baila." The two twins traded places all day long, all through the night. On the morning of the second day, the old sorceress was becoming a little bit short of wind, but she kept crying out for more music. On the evening of the second day, she began to stumble a bit as she danced. On the morning of the third day, she was staggering around the fire, but still calling out for more music. And then, just when the sun was setting on the evening of the third day, she fell to the ground. A broad smile brightened her withered old face. The boys gathered some of her fire into a clay pot, and they ran away. They ran and they ran until they got back to their own village. When they arrived at the village with the fire, all of the people started gathering wood. They made a great pile of firewood, and they set it aflame. And while that fire burned, they danced around the fire, and the boys played their drums and sang, "Piti, piti, piti, baila, nana, baila, piti, 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 baila, nana, baila." They danced until they couldn't dance anymore. And ever since that day, people have had fire. They have fire to cook their food with. They have fire to give them warmth. They have fire to give them light. And ever since that day, when the people build a big fire, they like to sing and play music, and they like to dance around that fire until they can't dance anymore.